So, when you think about an industrial city, especially somewhere like India, what's the first picture that jumps into your head?
Yeah, probably something like smokestacks, right? Dense population, maybe a bit chaotic.
Exactly. Kind of uncontrolled sprawl, maybe.
Ugh.
Well, prepare to have that whole image seriously challenged today
Oh, okay.
because we're doing a deep dive into Jamshedpur. And it's a city that honestly defies all those typical ideas.
It really does.
It's this amazing mix of, heavy industry, but also incredible environmental awareness and really meticulous planning, almost futuristic in a way.
That's a great way to put it, because Jamshedpur isn't just like another city on the map. It's almost a living experiment, you could say.
An experiment.
Yeah, like a case study.
Yeah.
It shows how planned development, real eco-friendliness, and serious industrial muscle can actually, work together, thrive even.
Okay.
It really stands out. It's proof you could design a city not just for making stuff, but for a genuinely good quality of life right from the start.
Absolutely. And that's our mission for this deep dive, really. We want to peel back the layers and figure out how it got this way.
Right. What makes it tick?
Exactly. We'll look at its history, the smarts behind its location, its global importance, the culture there, its green side, and even some adventure spots you wouldn't expect.
Sounds good. It's quite a story.
So where do we start? Let's go right back to the beginning, its roots, because this is where it gets really interesting, I think.
Okay.
Jamshedpur was actually India's first planned industrial city. Get this, it was set up even before Chandigarh, which most people think of as the icon of planned cities in India.
That's a key point. People often miss that.
And the person behind it all, the visionary, Jamsetji Nusarwanji Tata, the founder of the Tata Group.
Precisely. The whole thing really kicks off around 1907. That's when Tata Steel, or Tisco as it was called back then, Tata Iron and Steel Company was established.
Right, Tisco.
And the place itself, it was just a small village originally called Sakchi.
Sakchi, okay.
But it grew so fast, and the vision was so clear, that in 1919, Lord Chelmsford officially renamed it Jamshedpur.
Yeah.
Directly honoring Jamsetji Tata.
Wow, a direct tribute.
Yeah. This wasn't just building a factory. It was consciously building a city with a purpose.
That's a powerful start. And it sounds like choosing the location wasn't accidental either. Jamsetji Tata really thought it through.
Oh, absolutely. His strategic thinking there was brilliant. Nothing left to chance.
So what were the key factors?
Well, it was very practical, but also incredibly forward-looking. It wasn't just about being near one resource. It was about the perfect storm, you could say.
Okay.
You had rich iron ore nearby, massive coal deposits not too far away, essential for steel, obviously.
The lifeblood, yeah.
Crucially, tons of water available from two big rivers, the Subarnarekha and the Karkai, which actually meet right there.
Ah, the confluence.
Exactly.
Yeah.
And then the clincher, really, was essential railway access, vital for getting raw materials in and finish seal out efficiently.
Makes sense.
So that foresight, that combination of factors, really set the stage for a self-sustaining industrial ecosystem.
Okay, so that foundation is clear, groundbreaking origins, super strategic location. But how does that initial vision, that planning, actually show up in the city today? What makes Jamshedpur feel different from, say, other big urban centers?
This is where it gets really unique, I think. The governance model.
Governance. How so?
Well, unlike pretty much every other city in India, which has a municipal corporation, Jamshedpur is run entirely by JUSCO.
JUSCO.
Yeah, the Jamshedpur Utilities and Services Company. It's a private company, actually a Tata subsidiary. They handle everything: roads, water, power, sanitation, the lot.
A private company running a whole city. That's unusual.
Highly unusual. And the impact is, well, it's significant. Because they have this integrated approach, JUSC was known globally for its green practices, safety, maintenance.
So what does it mean for someone living there or visiting?
It means, practically speaking, you get exceptionally good roads. You get almost zero power cuts, which, is a huge deal in many Indian cities.
A massive deal.
A really clean environment, reliable 247 water and power, good street lighting. The standards are genuinely among the best you'll find in India.
And that's down to JSCO's single management focus.
Largely, yes.
Yeah.
That ability to plan and execute long-term across all services.
Okay, that structured approach definitely helps explain how Jamshedpur is known as one of India's greenest cities. I read it has over 30% green cover.
That's right, over 70%. And it's not just a number on paper. You feel it when you're there. It's very visible. And it's got the credentials to back it up. It was the very first city in India to get ISO 14001 certification.
Which is for?
Environmental management. It's a global standard. Means they have systems to keep improving their environmental
And
performance.
impressive.
Plus, it consistently ranks as one of the least polluted industrial cities in India. Think about that combination.
Industrial and low pollution, not words you usually see together.
Exactly. And it also ranks very highly in the Swachh Bharat Abhiyan, that's the national cleanliness drive. To do well there, especially as an industrial city, says a lot.
That is genuinely remarkable. An industrial powerhouse that's also a green leader. Okay, so let's pivot a bit from infrastructure. What about its wider influence, its sort of social character? How big is Jamshedpur on the global stage, and what's the vibe like living there?
Globally, the big headline is Steel City of India, of course.
Right.
It's home to India's biggest private steel plant, Tata Steel, which itself is a major global player. Their steel is in infrastructure projects all over the world.
So the backbone of many things.
Literally. But it's not just steel anymore. Lots of other big companies are there now. Tata Motors has a huge presence, Tata Template, Usha Martin, quite a few others.
It's diversified.
Very much so. It's a critical hub for Indian infrastructure broadly, even railway manufacturing. It's a diverse industrial engine, not just a one-trick pony.
Interesting. And I've also heard it's a bit of an intellectual hub, too. Isn't XLRI based there?
Yes, exactly. XLRI, the Xavier Labor Relations Institute. It's one of India's absolute top management schools, globally recognized.
So how does that fit in the academic side with the heavy industry? Does it create a different feel?
That's a great point. XLRI adds this whole other dimension. It attracts top talent, bright minds, future leaders. And what's really interesting is how this blend industry and education shapes the city's culture.
Okay.
Jamshedpur is genuinely multilingual. You'll hear Hindi, Bengali, Urdu, English, Santhali, Odia, all commonly spoken. It's incredibly cosmopolitan.
So people from all over?
All over India, Bihar, Bengal, Odisha, Punjab, down south. They all came for the opportunities, originally with Tata Steel and now with other companies too, and they stayed. It creates this really rich mix.
And culturally, festivals and things.
Oh, yeah. Because of the mix, you see everything celebrated with real enthusiasm. Durga Puja, Diwali, Eid, Holi, Christmas. There's a very inclusive feel. And there's something else too, often called the Tata culture.
The Tata culture, what's that?
It's hard to define exactly, but it's this underlying ethos that sort of permeates the city. It comes from the company's long history and influence. It emphasizes things like discipline, a strong focus on education, and a real community value placed on cleanliness.
So it extends beyond the factory gates.
Absolutely. It's woven into the social fabric. It fosters a certain civic sense, maybe. It's quite distinct from many other Indian cities.
Sounds like a truly unique mix. Industry, education, community spirit. Okay, now, I think for many listeners, the term industrial city doesn't exactly conjure up images of, like, natural beauty or fun things to do.
Right. You think maybe gray and functional.
Pretty much. But Jamshedpur seems to break that mold, too. Full of surprises on this front.
It absolutely is. This is where it really flips the script on what an industrial city can offer. You've got a surprising number of natural spots and adventure options.
Like what?
Okay, so there's the Dalma Wildlife Sanctuary right nearby, famous for elephants, leopards too sometimes, great trekking routes, a real escape.
Wow, a wildlife sanctuary next door.
Then there's Jubilee Park right in the city. It's huge and beautifully designed, actually modeled on the Brindavan Gardens in Mysore. Fountains, amazing flower gardens, even a zoo.
Sounds lovely.
And you've got Dimna Lake, perfect for boating, picnics, just chilling out, taking photos. Hudko Lake is another nice spot, maybe a bit quieter.
Lakes and parks.
And the riverfronts. The Subarnareka runs right through, offering really nice areas for walks or just enjoying nature right there.
That's a lot more green space and recreation than I would have guessed. And I think I read about nearby places too, like Ghatshila.
That's right. Ghatshila is only about 45 kilometers away. Beautiful spot known for waterfalls, hills, and you get a glimpse of local tribal culture there too. A great little day trip or weekend escape.
As even more appeal.
But honestly, beyond the specific spots, it's the overall quality of life touches that stand out.
Such as?
Well, we mentioned the clean environment, but also the public transport is remarkably clean, orderly, and get this, hardly any traffic jams.
Seriously, in a major Indian city.
It's noticeable, a huge plus for daily life. And then there's the power situation we talked about, no load shedding. Consistent 24/7 electricity. That's a luxury you just don't get in many places.
That alone sounds amazing.
And one more thing, sports culture. It's really strong there. Jamshedpur is home to the Tata Football Academy. which is very prestigious.
Football.
Yeah, and strong traditions in archery, cricket, athletics too. It fosters a really active community, which adds to that overall sense of well-being.
So tying this all together then, what's the big takeaway for you, for listeners? Jamshedpur isn't just churning out steel. It feels like something more deliberate.
Absolutely. It's more than just a city. It's living proof of what happens when you combine foresight, really meticulous long-term management, and this integrated approach to industry and environment. It's a creation, not an accident.
Right, a deliberate creation.
And I think that raises a really important point for anyone thinking about urban development. Jamshedpur serves as this unique, real-world model
Model of what, exactly?
of urban excellence, really, and sustainability. It proves pretty emphatically that industrial growth doesn't have to come at the cost of quality of life or the environment. They can actually enhance each other
If planned right.
if planned right and managed consistently. It's a kind of blueprint in action, showing what's possible when a city is designed from the ground up with purpose and that long view.
Indeed. So as you sit with the story of Jamshedpur, maybe think about this. How could this Jamshedpur model, with its unique private governance, its deep commitment to integrated planning, how might that influence how we build or redevelop cities elsewhere?
Especially now, right? In a world really struggling with that balance between industry and, well, a livable planet.
Exactly. What are the real actionable lessons we can pull from a city that was literally designed right from its birth for purpose and for the long haul? Something to think about.